Hey, so we all make mistakes, but owning up to them is the right thing to do. You know Degree Cool Rush deodorant? Well, last year they changed the formula and it did not go over well with their fans. Degree's whole thing is it turns up the sweat and odor protection when you turn up the effort. And good thing it does, because Cool Rush fans really turned up the effort to bring back the original formula. One guy even started an online petition. And Degree listened. They admitted they effed up. And they are bringing the original Cool Rush set back. And it's exactly how you remembered it. Cool, crisp, and fresh. It's back in Walmart, Target, and other stores now for under $4. There's a reason why it's been the #1 men's antiperspirant for the last decade. It's the same reason why people were not happy when it changed. So if you never tried it, it might be a good time to see what the fuss is about. Head to your local Walmart or Target to try the OG Degree Cool Rush for yourself.
Wake that ass up.
In the morning.
The Breakfast Club.
We are the Breakfast Club. Let's get in some front page news. What's up, Morgan?
Hey, y'all. Hey, how y'all feeling?
Peace,
hey,
Morgan.
girl. Good. Okay. We love to hear that. First on front page, more updates on this attack out of Boulder, Colorado. Now, the FBI says Mohammed Sabri Salman planned the attack in Boulder on Sunday for over a year. In court documents, Salman said he researched on YouTube how to make Molotov cocktails.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, he's a husband and a father of 5, and he allegedly planned or said that he had planned the attack for 1 year, but waited until his daughter graduated to carry it out. Now, documents claim he also said he wanted to kill all Zionist people and wished they were all dead. Now, meanwhile, the White House is pointing out the immigration status of the suspect. Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt noted that the Egyptian man overstayed his tourist visa, and the Trump administration is taking a hard look at these types of attacks, saying they should never happen. Let's take a listen to White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt.
Any individual, especially illegal criminals who engage in acts of terrorism, will be held accountable under this president. This terrorist came into our country under the previous administration. Joe Biden's administration foolishly gave him a tourist visa and that allowed him to unlawfully remain in our country.
She went on to say this person should have been deported a long time ago. And of course, President Trump said the attack will not be tolerated in the United States of America. And he added that the suspect came in through Biden's, quote, ridiculous open border policy. And he, quote, he must go out under Trump policy. Now, meanwhile, Colorado Governor Jared Polis, he spoke yesterday in Denver saying there doesn't appear to be an extended conspiracy involving the Boulder fire attack suspect. And he's confident the suspect will have his day in court. Let's take a listen to Colorado Governor Jared Polis and his comments.
At this point, we have no reason or information that there was any type of extended conspiracy, although that investigation continues. I am confident he'll be prosecuted to the full extent of the law.
Of course, the suspect, Mohammed Sabri Salman, as mentioned before, is accused of using a makeshift flamethrower and Molotov cocktails in Sunday's attack, which seriously injured 8 people. He's already been charged with a federal hate crime, and the 45, as mentioned before as well, the 45-year-old Egyptian man was in the U.S. illegally.
Let me ask you guys a question. When it comes to a lot of this, I know this is a small part of the problem, but the fact that people can actually Google some of these things, like Google how to make a cocktail, whatever you call it, or Google how to make a ghost gun, or Google how to make a bomb, shouldn't we be cutting some of these things off online where people just can't get access to it that fast?
Yeah, it's true. And then to your point, as you were saying previous days about how they're going to, moving forward, some students will be vetted on social media. I'm sure that could be a thing as well. It's like, what have you been looking up? What have you been Googling? What have you been researching? And so maybe that could, add to essentially that vetting process. But
well, people who want to kill you, people who want to harm you, they're going to find a way. And, this is a sad, sad situation. And I don't know how to combat this level of bigotry. I don't know how to combat this level of prejudice. If I did as a black person, I would have made it stop a long time ago.
Just make it a little more difficult, though. The fact that you can Google how to make a bomb and it'll give you step by step.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the bigotry and the prejudice and the racism and the anti-Semitism that fuels people to do these type of things. I don't know how to make that stop. Like I said, if I was as a black person, I would have made this stop a long time ago for us. All right, and this is just who some people in this world are.
Sad.
It just is
very sad.
Very sad. Very very deep rooted. But I will keep you guys posted as to what happens with that story. That's front page news for 6 a.m. At 7 a.m. Stick around. We're still talking about Trump's so-called big, beautiful bill. And we're still on the topic, for whatever reason, of Joe Biden's mental health decline. So we'll talk about that. So
because you know why we're still on that topic? Because we're on that topic because the Trump administration is here because of that mental decline. And I also want to say this is why whenever you see bigotry or you see prejudice or you see racism or anti-Semitism of any kind, you should speak out against it. Because as Martin Luther King Jr. said, an injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere.
That's right. All right.
Fuck it.
Well, thank you. We'll see you next time, Morgan. Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Now let's get back in some front page news. What's up, Morgan?
Oh, that's me. Oh, hey. I'm like, oh, that's me. I usually like when you say hi to me.
What's up,
morning.
Morgan?
Hey, I appreciate it. Waiting for the toss. My bad, y'all. So yeah, as mentioned in the last hour, the topic of former President Joe Biden's mental health is still a topic. Former President Bill Clinton is defending former President Joe Biden when it comes to claims regarding the decline of his mental health while he was in office and running for re-election. Now, Clinton made the comment speaking to CBS Sunday Morning. Let's take a listen to what he had to say about former President Joe Biden's mental health.
I thought he was a good president. The only concern I thought he had to deal with was, could anybody do that job until they were 86? And we'd had several long talks. I had never seen him and walked away thinking he can't do this anymore. He was always on top of his brief. I saw President Biden not very long ago, and I thought he was in good shape.
So what are your thoughts there? Clinton was actually on the show promoting his new book, The First Gentleman. So
I think Bill Clinton is holding the party line. And, you know, we don't need anybody that's continuing to hold the party line to the detriment of the country. Because that's what happened with President Biden. People held the party line so much to the detriment of the country. Because if President Trump was the threat that everybody said he was going to be, then they should have governed like a threat, and they should have been doing things to ensure that threat doesn't get back into power. And running Joe Biden, keeping him in that position, definitely didn't ensure that Trump wasn't going to get back in that position of power.
But the sad thing about it is we said it, right? We seen it, and we got ish for people saying that that's not true, this, that, and the other, that's not happening. But we all seen it with our eyes.
And guess what, Envy? We ain't never met him. I ain't never met the man. So
right.
You mean to tell me that those of us who never met the man saw it, but people that used to see him on the regular didn't see it? Cut it out.
Well, I think it's just a matter of what you saw and where you might have saw it, because I was around and very heavily involved with the Biden administration and covering the Biden administration. I had been around him during the time where people were saying he was on his mental decline. And I will say from a personal perspective that he was just old. It wasn't giving that he wasn't sharp. He just was old and slow moving.
Doesn't remember
and that
you.
was just my, that was just.
Hey, Morgan, you know the contradiction that Bill Clinton said in that interview, because I watched that whole interview this weekend. He said that, but then he turned around and said, but you know, I did question if he could do that job until he was 86.
Yes.
But he was saying that anybody could do the job until they were 86 because Biden was the oldest person to do it. I mean, that's what I'm saying.
But he's the person. He's the guy.
Yeah.
And you can't just say anybody. He was the guy that was closer to 86.
And nobody was attacking him. I think if you had a family member that had dementia, and like Gia's mother had dementia, you seen signs from that Joe Biden had that I seen Gia's mom had, right? I seen those same type of signs. So that's worried me. And if you're voting with somebody, you have questions. And the fact that I feel like they were lying, concerns me a lot.
Of course, the concern for sure was legitimate, but whether or not what was going on. But I'm where I'm standing right now is trying to figure out why is it still a topic of conversation. But you're saying it is because we are where we are right now. So
no, I think it's a topic of conversation because you should learn from history. And they just put out the book, The Original Sin. But based off Bill Clinton's logic, if that's the case, then we should never discuss what any president does after they are no longer president. We shouldn't discuss Barack Obama's legacy. We shouldn't discuss Clinton's legacy. We shouldn't discuss George Bush's legacy. Based off what Clinton is saying, once a person is out of office, we shouldn't be talking about them no more. Come on, man. This is when Democrats sound ridiculous to us. This is when politicians sound ridiculous to us because they're so busy trying to hold the party line that they sound foolish.
Tell them how you really feel. All right, well, moving on in other news, House Minority Leader, also a Democrat, Hakeem Jeffries, is among lawmakers raising alarms over President Trump's so-called One Big Beautiful Bill Act. Now, Jeffries was in attendance at a rally in Brooklyn on Sunday alongside New York Governor Kathy Hochul to detail concerns about what will happen if the U.S. Senate passes the act. Let's take a listen to Hakeem Jeffries.
You know, the GOP tax scam is not one big beautiful bill. It's one big ugly bill that will hurt everyday Americans, hurt everyday New Yorkers, and it's designed to reward their billionaire donors like Elon Musk.
Jeffries also warned, and others warned, that it would impact federal funding to Medicaid, causing many of those to lose health insurance. Now, Trump has said that cuts are targeting waste and fraud and abuse, and the U.S. Senate is expected to take up the bill this week. They are officially back in session today. Now, New York Governor Kathy Hochul also heavily criticized the Trump administration and Republican lawmakers over a number of issues. She says the Republican-led plan to make steep cuts to Medicaid is taking from the poor and giving to the rich, and a reversed, a reverse, what is it? Not Peter Pan. Who takes from the rich and gives to the poor?
Robin Hood.
Robin Hood.
Thank you. And a reverse Robin Hood type of situation. She says she can't promise that all of her hospitals will stay open in New York, so this is going to impact New Yorkers if this bill to cut Medicaid becomes law. Let's take a listen to New York Governor Kathy Hochul.
This is a level of attack that was unforeseeable, but it has to be stopped. What they're proposing is basically reverse Robin Hood. They're taking from the poor to give to the rich, and people need to rebel against that. If we lose $3 billion for hospitals, I can't say we're going to be able to keep all of my hospitals open. I cannot say that right now. They have to back off.
So Hochul also went on to say that it's hard to protect people from disease if COVID vaccines are no longer being recommended for healthy children and pregnant women, as just stated by Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. And she also says she'll stand up for immigrant rights when testifying at a House Oversight Committee in about a week. So as mentioned, that big, beautiful bill is now being taken up in the Senate. After the Senate vote, House lawmakers will have a chance to approve changes to the bill. And like I said before, Congress is officially back in session today. So I will keep you posted as to what happens with that. I had one more story. I'm not going to get too much into it. I'll just say that updates and improvements at Newark, New Jersey's Newark Liberty Airport are underway, and it does appear that things are moving in a positive direction per Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy, who was there earlier this week. So it looks like one of the runways has been that was shut down for maintenance has reopened. So it looks like things are moving in a positive direction for Newark Liberty Airport. But that's pretty much it. That's your front page news. Follow me on socials at Morgan Media, and for more news coverage, follow at Black Information Network. Download the free iHeartRadio app and visit us at BINnews.com. Thank y'all.
All righty. Thank you, Morgan.
Wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.